Hello, peeps, and possible new viewers to the channel. This is part 2 of my teleworking tips short video series. I did want to make it all one video, just FYI, but I couldn't fit it all in the amount of time that an average video on my channel was, which is about 15 minutes. And I was also noticing that I was leaving stuff out as I was editing, so I decided to make it multiple videos. And before we get into this video, I'm going to recap what was in the previous video. 1. Take periodic breaks. 2. Make time to unwind. 3. Connect with other people. And 4. Windows 10 taskbar optional customizations. If you want to see any of that stuff, I recommend you check out my previous video, which I have linked in the description. A couple of my friends who are not that familiar with YouTube asked me follow-up questions on that video, and it seems like they're not that familiar with how YouTube works. Like, they don't know how the comment system works, they don't know how the description box works, and well, that gives me sad face and heart shapes at the same time. Why? Sad because they didn't know, but heart shapes because they're probably gonna watch this video and find out right now. To start with, you want to go on the top right of YouTube and make sure you're signed in. This is the previous video, by the way. And for this video series, I will be doing timestamps in the description right here for if you want to skip straight to one of the particular sections. Also, if something in the video piques your interest, you'll see an Amazon affiliate link to that item. I've also put timestamps in the pinned comment below the video, but you might have to click under my comment where it says show more to see all the different timestamps. There's a couple other tips that I would like to mention. When you're watching a video and you see something you want to try, go ahead and pause it and try it on your computer. And then if you need to fast forward, you can hit the letter L on your computer to fast forward 10 seconds, or the letter J to rewind 10 seconds. I do that all the time. When I'm watching YouTube, if I say, oh, I already know about that part, I want to skip that, I'll hit L. Or say, wait, I need to hear that again, and I'll hit J. Now on to topic number 1 of this video, which is actually number 5 in the series, so I'm probably going to put that up there. Number 5, show children stability. Whether you have children, or you're babysitting someone else's kids, or you just happen to be around children. Don't be overly dramatic about the thing that's going around that I can't say. You know, that sickness, that bad sickness. Be stable. You want to be calm, and you want to be responsible. Look like you have your shirt together, if you know what I mean. Now, whether or not you're the guardian of a child, or one just happens to be around, you want to help control their sources of stress. This may not be directly limited to that super bad flu going around. I'll just call it the human malware from now on in this video. It could be anything in their life. Limit that stress. Make it obvious that whatever that stress is something that you guys can get through. I don't know how better to explain that. Next is if you can, limit their exposure to the mass media coverage of the human malware. Now, for me, I was watching my son the other day, and this is a story about what I'm personally doing in order to make sure my son's doing okay with this. I was working at home on a certain day, and I asked his mother if I could watch him from home, so I could manage his time and make sure he could see how I manage my time. I found out that he had homework that he had to do on a school-supplied laptop. He had his work section, and I had my work section, and we stayed separated except for the times where I was taking my breaks. And when I took my breaks, I checked on him. He's like, you all right? And he's like, yeah. You done with your homework already? Yep. And I also watched what he was looking at on YouTube on his tablet to make sure it wasn't related to current events. He did once during the day, but that's it, which is good because if he watches too much of this stuff, it's too much stress and it gets to you. That leads me to my next point. Be mindful that stress affects children more than adults. And depending on their age, it affects them differently. Okay? I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details of that. I will link in the description an article that I read that I highly appreciated. It was written by the CDC, as the Center of Disease Control. They also mentioned in there that children with special needs or handicaps are also affected by stress differently than others. And I can attest to that because I used to have a brother that was handicapped. He's not around anymore, and we're not getting into that. But my family showed him as much love as we could back then, and I can only imagine what it would be like to have a sibling with a handicap like that during the human malware going around right now. And one point I'd like to add to that before I move to the next section is remember with children, be patient and observant because they don't see the world the same way you do, and they don't communicate stress the same way you do. Thank you for hearing me out for that part. Now moving on to the next topic, which comes from my original recording when I had intended to make this all one video. So we're going to cut that now. The next thing you want to do is keep all your mobile devices charged. So you got your personal cell phone and your work cell phone. Keep them both charged because you're at home. People have to contact you via phone. You charge them at night while you're asleep. Just remember, you got to do it every day. And if you don't have it charged during the day, remember to turn off the ringer and plug it into a charger. The next thing is you want to close and reopen programs as needed. If you're not using a program, close it. Otherwise, your taskbar is going to get full of a whole bunch of stuff. And if you're using the icon default things in the taskbar, you'll have like 20 of something and not realize it and be wondering why is your computer going so slow, or maybe you don't realize it and you're just trying to truck through the work and you're getting really tired and exhausted because you're waiting for things to happen, and that's actually exhausting mentally if you're waiting for stuff to happen and you're forgetting what steps you're going to do and you have to rethink the process in your head. Close your programs when you're done with them. I'm just going to interject something really quick right here because some of y'all may not actually know how to restart your computer. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do it. The first one, I'm going to go ahead and scroll my OBS capture down so you can see my taskbar. Again, this is what my taskbar looks like after I do the customizations that I did in the previous video. Check that video out if you want to know how to do that. This is your start button, right? Looks like the 4 little squares at an angle. If you click that, you have this little power button thing on the bottom left. If you hover your mouse long enough, it shows you these different options. Either way, when you click the power button, you're going to see the restart option. But you don't want to do that first. You want to close any windows you actually see open, which is why having your taskbar this way versus having pinned icons down there helps you see what's open. Again, check out the previous video. But once you got all the windows shut that you can see, that's a good time to restart. You don't want to restart your computer when you've got a bunch of things open. Your computer may lock up just trying to close those things for you. You don't want that. Now, if you do have a situation where, like I'm going to talk about in a moment, there's higher levels of closing your programs where you know it's going to be difficult for your computer to shut down. You want to hit Windows button R and type CMD and then hit enter, or you can just open the start menu, type CMD, and when you see that command prompt is highlighted, hit enter. There's a command you want to type. It's shutdown /F/R/T space 0. And I'm not actually going to do it right now because it'll wipe out everything I'm doing. The first one is the force shutdown. If you've got any processes, things that are hanging and stuck in the background that you can't get to shut down, that F is going to knock them out. Knock them right out of the computer's memory. This R switch, by the way, all these things are called switches. The R tells the shutdown command, we're going to do a restart. That means you're going to shut all the way down and turn back on. And the T means how many seconds do you want to wait until it performs these functions? And I'm going to go ahead and say 0 seconds. I'm going to close that because I don't want to do that right now while making this and editing this video for you guys. Now back to past/last week meeting. Next thing is about programs as well. You want to reboot your computer periodically and as needed. If you're having problems with stuff, reboot your computer. Maybe there's a stuck program. You can get rid of it. It's the next level up from that is learning how to use Task Manager. There's a few ways to open it. I just opened it with Control, Shift, and Escape buttons on the keyboard. You can also open the Start menu and just type Task Manager. And if you see something running here you don't want running anymore, you can just click it and hit End Task. That's level 1 of killing a program that you can't figure out how to get it off your computer is Restart. Level 2 is Task Manager. Level 3 is Task Manager Details tab, where you know which one of these EXEs belongs to what program you're working in. It's different for each program, so you have to be a guru at that. And then level 4 is a command called tskill, where, let's say, for example, I wanted to get rid of all these chromes. I could type tskill chrome, and they're gone. And you see Chrome is pinned down there like I was talking about earlier. Unpin. It's over here. So I can open it back up later. But all of these require more knowledge about the Windows system. And if you're already an IT person or getting into IT, maybe I helped you increase your performance and decrease your workflow time by knowing those tricks. You also want to reboot your mobile devices as needed. These need to be rebooted as well. They run programs. This is an operating system. This one's an Apple operating system. That one's Android. This is Windows. They're all a program running other programs. And it's the complexity between all of these things is insane. Just reboot it if you're having issues, and reboot it at least once a week. That's my suggestion. All right, I think that's enough for part 2 of this series. Just as a quick recap, we went over number 5, show children stability and responsibility. Number 6, keep your mobile devices charged and the ringers turned on. Number 7, close and reopen programs as needed. Number 8, reboot computer as needed. And number 9, reboot your mobile devices as needed. And while reading these points, I remembered a trick, and that's with spam bots calling your phone. I got them a lot, 3 or 4 a day in the beginning, and then I remembered this federal law that came out a few years ago that required solicitor callers to allow you to remove yourself from their calling list. And then I realized, wait, this is a bot. How are they going to implement that? It's probably a button press. So what I had done was I listened to one all the way through until it gave me the option. It was option 2. So from there on after, I would press speaker to hear it start talking, and I would just press 2. I wouldn't even let it finish talking. And sometimes it's option 1. So hit 2, and if it keeps talking, hit 1. When it hangs up on you, or it says, you've been removed from the list, or similar verbiage, you've succeeded. And you'll notice if you do that for every time you get calls, after a while, you only get them like once a week or something. So just another tip I threw in there. Now I am going to be doing these videos every week until I run out of information to give you guys, and then I don't know what I'm going to do, but I think it's very important, and I'm sorry if this particular video didn't have enough humor for you guys, but when I decided I was going to mention the thing about children based off of what I read from the CDC article, it got me right here in the heart shapes, and I knew I wanted to be real with you on this one. So click like if you want to click like, get subscribed if you want to see other content from me, not just this, actually other content that's based around my channel. Do what you want, but I'm not pushing the whole get subscribed and like and all that stuff on this one, because this isn't a self-promoting video. This is a self-help video. Thank you for watching. I've been Robert Gene. I think I'll put up here, the easier one to see, because I'm looking at my camera, how I would place the thing. Part 1 video will be up here, and I'll just put up a video with my son over here so you can see us having fun. Thanks for watching. I've been Robert Gene, signing out.